Hey guys, here we go. It's a Monday Live again.
Make sure everyone can hear you.
Make sure that you guys could hear me. So let them know. And
Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. Can everybody hear us in the chat?
do they hear us? So, hey guys, I mean, we're starting today. There's a whole bunch of things that happened. An explosion in Palm Springs, California. Some guy blew himself up in a car. And I mean, there's so much weird shit going on in our country. It's crazy. Outside of a facility, some sort of facility, a women's facility, fertility place. So, but they got him. He's dead. So he blew himself up too. I think he blew himself up by accident. So, and I went to church yesterday. I met the pastor out here. You also know that I usually go to Mark out in California, Ocean Church, and I met this guy there, and he's in Arizona. Michael Maiden, Nation. Yeah, Church of the Nation. Michael Maiden, I think his name is. We had a good meeting, a good solid meeting. So this is going to be the church I go in when I'm in Arizona, and when I'm in California, I'll be with Mark and the Ocean Church. They're running all kinds of ideas by me and talking to me and stuff like that. I was completely shocked. I was sitting with Megan in the audience, pretty close to the front, and he was talking about the Bible and different people who God had around him. Some pretty violent people. And then he mentioned my name and pointed to me. I mean, I was shocked. I couldn't believe it because I didn't even know he knew I was going to be there. I don't think he actually knew. He saw me and recognized me. And he said my name. He didn't call me Sammy, he said Sam. Sam is sitting in the audience, changed his life around and all this other stuff. And all of a sudden, everybody started clapping and looking at me. I was so embarrassed. I couldn't believe it, because it just caught me completely off guard. But it was nice. It was great sermon the guy gives. And so it was good. I don't know if you're going to start with questions and stuff like that. If there's questions, I know that there was a question that somebody sent me, and Mina was talking to me about it. It was a movie. The name of the movie was
True Romance. It was a Sicilian movie.
Yeah, it was about Sicilians and stuff like that. They showed me a scene. Is it like that? It is like that. I mean, Sicilians do have black blood in us a little bit. We were invaded by the Moors many, many, many years ago, and so they do movies about it. They say things about it all the time, and I think there's some truth to it. So I'm waiting on some questions, seeing what's going on. They're all sitting here like they're like zombies. I feel like I'm in a morgue.
You're in the Twilight Zones. Sammy, how was your weekend?
It was good. I just said it was good. I went to the church and did a few things. Otherwise, it was fairly quiet. And
it's okay as long as it was quiet and peaceful. That's all that matters, right?
Well, yeah, because very rare is my life quiet and peaceful.
Can we start off by getting a shout out to Juan V? His daughter is turning 3 today. Her name is Valentina, and he wants a very nice happy birthday from the boss man.
Happy birthday, Valentina. Beautiful name. And happy birthday, baby.
Okay, I do have some questions for you. Actually, let me actually go back into our super chat. Lord Mattie Allman Vlogger, nice, generous envelope for you. He says, a little something to support you and your channel, Sammy.
Thank you, Armin.
I have a question from YouTube. It's from Knowledge Mass. He says, hey, Sammy, have you personally met Marilyn Monroe? And what do you know about her, her interactions with the Mafia, and her death?
There's so much to know about her. I never met her personally. I was a young guy. I was much younger than her. And I think all the guys in the country had the hots for her. She was great looking, super sexy. She was affiliated with the Mafia. I know a lot of stories about her. She went with President JFK, his brother Bobby. She was banging a few guys, and the boss Sam Giancana, a bunch of guys. She was with the Rat Pack, Sinatra and D. Martin, Sammy Davis Jr. She hung with them. She was pretty close with them. She was a good broad. She did what she was asked to do all the time. And she was great. The Mafia eventually killed her because they were afraid that the president would get caught, JFK, and lose his presidency. They had him tight, the Kennedys, so they didn't want to lose it. She became a junkie and was getting carried away with everything she was talking about and saying, and they just had to get rid of her, and they got rid of her. I heard that the first time with Tato. I couldn't even believe my ears. And those were the reasons why they gave her an OD or something and got rid of her. A shame. I still like her as of today when I see some pictures of her and stuff.
You have a poster of her.
Yeah, we have
She
a
was
poster
gorgeous.
of her. She was gorgeous, drop dead gorgeous, completely sexy. I mean, she drove guys wild. And she kind of knew it, and she played with that. And listen, that was part of her success. Her downfall was drugs.
I have a question from Kenneth Sponberg from Our Thing. He says, Sammy, did Cosa Nostra ever have to handle any child molesters while you were in the life? If so, can you tell us about what happened?
I never know of one personally. I know of stories. And the mob, if you were a child molester and we knew about it, you got killed. Nobody called the cops on you. Nobody did anything. We killed you. So I was never involved in anything like that. I didn't know anybody who was a child molester. I met some guys in prisons who were child molesters. And they didn't do easy or good time. Nobody likes them. But the mob don't tolerate stuff like that, a child molester. You know, we all have children and grandchildren, and nobody likes that shit.
I have a question from TikTok. This is from user 7877879. Hey, Sammy from Greece, what was your first thought when you found out you were going to be a made man?
I mean, I remember, I looked up to the Mafia as a kid growing up, most of my life. They were legends to me. The thought of becoming a made guy, I never even dreamt of it in the beginning when I was younger. But towards the end, I thought there was a possibility. And then one time, Tato told me to dress up, and he wanted me to go to a secret meeting. And I had a friend of mine, a made guy, Sally Albanese, who was in the Colombo family. I met him in the bar. And he said, listen, Sammy, if Tato tells you to dress up and you're going to go to a meeting, good things are going to happen for you. So I kind of put two and two together, and I thought that was going to be a day I either get killed or I get made. One or the other was going to happen. So I went with his son, Charlie Boy, and we were both going to the same meeting, so I knew I wasn't getting killed. Charlie Boy wouldn't have been there. And we both got made on that same day. And it was one of the highlights of my life. Of course, my children being born, being married, so many other things were highlights, but nothing like this. This was, I was belonging to a secret society. They talk about it in the movie that I'm possibly going to do, and it really was a highlight of my life.
So Rare Breed says, I thought women and children were never touched in the Mafia. Or I thought the Mafia never touched women and children.
Well, that's our policy, is not to hurt women or children or innocent people as well. We're not a gang. We do a hit successfully where the person who's supposed to die dies. But on occasion, I guess, things like that could happen. I remember I was asked a story this morning, and a couple of women were killed. Sometimes when a woman gets too deep into the Mafia, like Marilyn Monroe, you can put yourself in a weird spot that jeopardizes a lot of people, and then they forget she's a woman, they'll kill her. I don't know stories where that happened with kids. Even when a guy cooperates, it's our rule not to hurt their family, their wife, their kids. They did nothing. They don't deserve to be hurt. The guy who cooperated, you can kill him, but not the women and the children. That's a general rule as well. We didn't allow bombings because we were afraid that we would kill innocent people. So they did that in Italy. They didn't do it in the United States. A couple of times it did happen in New York. Frankie DeCicco was killed with a bomb. I know Capone used bombs all the time, Al Capone, but that's not something that was recognized by the entire Cosa Nostra.
Billy Ryan also has a question for you. He says, hey, Sammy, were you worried that you and John would lose respect for not avenging Frankie, Eddie, and Bobby? And then he says, Gas Pipe had an unfair advantage with the mob cops.
Well, he definitely had an unfair advantage. He was working with cops. You know, it's much easier if you're working with cops. I mean, if you have a license to go kill and cops are helping you with the conditions and the murder and stuff, it's real easy. But we didn't find out about Frankie DeCicco for a very long time. We were almost done. I think I really put it together while I was in prison. We hunted that down. If I would have found who killed him, I would have killed him, for sure. I just never was sure who did what. We assumed that it came from Chin. I didn't know that it was given from Chin to Gas Pipe and the Lucchese's, or I would have reacted. We would have reacted. I'm sure John Gotti would have reacted as well. What was the other names besides Frankie? Oh, Bobby
Eddie
Borriello
and Bobby.
And Eddie. Mm-hmm. We didn't know who did what. That was those mob cops who killed Eddie Lino. They stopped him on a highway with lights, and when they walked over, he thought it was being a traffic violation or something, and they shot him in the head. Bobby Borriello was shot near his house. I believe me and John were in jail at the time he was killed. So, you know, when you're away, you're out of control of certain things, but we never knew. We never knew who did what. We knew he got killed, but I know I spoke to John. We were together in prison, and we had no idea who did what.
I have Jay Marie in the super chat. He said, Sammy, was there ever a boss that retired or was demoted who wasn't taken out before someone else became boss?
I mean, I think there was bosses who retired and quit. Yeah, Joe Bonanno was one of them. My son just told me Joe Bonanno. He was right, Joe Bonanno. But he was thrown out. They would have killed him, they said, him and his son, Salvatore Bonanno, if he didn't move out of New York. They wanted him out of New York. And he moved to Arizona, him and his son. They opened up a cotton farm, a cattle farm. They had a guy with them. They had a couple of, strip clubs, one swinger club that they owned, or something like that. So they had a couple of things down here, and he didn't get killed. There was a few guys who basically retired, were pushed out. In Buffalo, there was a guy who took over. I forgot his name right now. They made him step down and get out. So some guys stepped down and got out, but mostly they were almost forced to get out.
Marshall G in the super chat also asks, is it true made guys can't divorce their wives? And then he follows up with, they can kill them but can't divorce them? Haha.
No, there's no such rule like that. You know, you could divorce your wife. Anybody could divorce their wife. Killing them is really against the rules. I mean, there's a lot of stories, a couple of stories about people who killed a wife. There's cops who wanted to kill their wives, and they came to us. And, there was a guy one time, Huck brought it to me, I think it was Huck, and said, Sammy, this guy wants to pay $25,000 to kill his wife, for us to kill his wife. And so I told him, you know what you do, Huck? Tell him okay. Tell him to give you, in advance $12,500 and the other $12,500 after she's dead. And he looked at me, he says, I thought we don't do that. I said, we don't. I'm gonna rob him of the $12,500. I'm gonna take it. When we get it, I'm gonna send him a message back. You wanna get rid of your wife, go to divorce court. And now if you wanna go to the agents and say, I robbed you for the $12,500, tell them what I was supposed to do for the $12,500 and go to the agents. He couldn't go to agents. What is he gonna say? I gave him $12,500 to kill my wife and he didn't do it and he robbed me? So no, I wouldn't do that. I don't do murders for money. We don't do that. We do murders on orders from our boss or for different reasons, but we don't do money hits. We're not supposed to do that. We don't do that.
Do you have anything from TikTokers or Instagram?
I've got something from Instagram. Hey Sammy, this is from Yaguzi Gumastas. Hey Sammy, good evening. My question is, when you were in the life, have you ever been shot cleanly, excluding the time the bullet grazed your head?
Yes. I was shot right in the chest, and the bullet hit me in the chest on the left side, and it came out my shoulder blade. So I was shot twice, 2 different occasions.
Okay. Do you have another question?
And what's his name? Gabalagusa?
Yeah, I don't know yet. Okay, here's another one from NYNJY. How realistic was the Soprano TV show?
It was based on a family in Jersey, but actually it was all made up. Mostly all of it was made up. It was very well done, obviously. It did great. But it was based on a story from the Jersey mob. And most of it was fictitious, made up stuff.
So I have another question for you from our thing. It's from Nick. I hope I don't butcher his last name. Naisho. He says, commission meetings, okay, so you've touched on this subject a few times before, but I think it's one of the 2 most mysterious parts of the Mafia that hasn't been truly unpacked. And obviously you should know of this. How do guys get to these secret meetings? Is there car changes and bosses hiding in trunks to avoid being seen going out? I mean, after all, bosses can't just walk outside their house and walk right into a commission meeting without possible surveillance, right?
Yeah, but they don't know where the meeting is taking place. I could tell you, we went to a commission meeting with John Gotti and a few guys. It was in a high-rise building. We came in, nobody's following us in. We took the elevator, we went to the 6th floor. There was another guy waiting when we got on the 6th floor with a door open to somebody's apartment. So there's no way you could know we were in that apartment. It was never used before. There's no way it was bugged. We sat down and we spoke. Now, even if the marshals wanted to come in, they'd have to drive in and go down into the basement where the parking is, and we would be notified that that was happening. And it would mean at nothing. We would be sitting down playing cards or eating. And then secondly, you'd need a subpoena to open the door or a warrant. And they don't have that. So it's not easy when they don't know in advance. There's a lot of times you could set up meetings really easy. Even if they followed somebody and saw us go into a building or a restaurant, they wouldn't know. If they have to know about the meeting in advance. If they don't know about the meeting in advance, it's very hard to put together. And even if you went there and there was 2, 3 guys, 4 guys sitting down, what does that mean? They're sitting down, they're eating dinner. You don't know what they're talking about. So it's really meaningless. It's pretty easy to get away. Of course, while you're going to the meeting, you would use your mirrors, look through the back mirror, make sure you're not being followed. I would even have a backup car follow me. I would go down the street, a one-way street. I'd be going with Toto, let's say, or let's say with John Gotti. And we halfway down the block, the backup car would stop. So you couldn't get past him. There's cars on both sides, he's in the middle. So you couldn't follow, we would block. And we were able to beep each other. Back then they had beepers. So if there was some sort of a problem, I almost got whacked. I was supposed to go to Gargiulio's restaurant in Coney Island. And I didn't go because there was a lot of cars around me. I thought they were FBI. I thought I was going to get pinched. I didn't go to the meeting because I figured for sure I'm going to bring heat to this meeting with all these cars and these guys watching me. So I didn't even go to the meeting. So it's not that easy to catch a commission meeting in action.
So follow-up question to that, also from Nick. He said, how is the mood and setup of a commission meeting different than a regular sit-down amongst your own family? Is there more tension, maybe, or maybe the opposite with some nice takeout food and presents for each other?
There's no presents for each other. There could be food. People smoke cigars. It's casual. All these bosses know each other. They have respect for one another. And I want you to know another thing. There's a rule that a commission meeting is a sanctuary. No hit should take place in a commission meeting. Once you break that rule, then everybody wouldn't want to go to a commission meeting. So you knew you were safe there, you were protected. But they spoke about all kinds of different issues, different businesses, different things, straighten things out, make new rules. A commission meeting is very relaxed, very friendly towards each other. They're all bosses. There's, everybody's got a bodyguard or 2 and lookouts watching the place. And you're not allowed to bring a gun into a commission meeting. So nothing could ever happen like that. There's a lot of rules, but it's very friendly. It's warm. They know each other for years. They deal with each other. They cut up money. There's all kinds of things they do together. They're friends, basically. I mean, there could be an argument about a situation, but that's what a commission is all about. Everybody, the 5 bosses, or underbosses, whoever's sitting there, hear it, and they come to some sort of conclusion to stop the violence. Nothing should happen. And if somebody's got to go, whether he's in your crew or not, if he broke certain rules and he had to go, those are commission rules, then you've got to sometimes go out and do it yourself. Take care of your problem. And so, a lot of times, most of the times, they give you your own stuff. Wash your own dirty laundry. If you got somebody who's dirty laundry, go home and get rid of them.
On a lighter note.
I'm going to just...
So on a lighter note, Steve wants to know, who's the biggest celebrity you've ever met?
One day, looking in the mirror, I was washing my face. I looked up. Oh, a celebrity? All right. I mean, I met Sinatra. I met a bunch of guys, celebrities, at different times. Sinatra was the best. I think the name of the club was the Wagon Wheels down in New York. And he came in, he was known that he would go to this place all the time. And he was sitting down, there was a bunch of actresses sitting there. Older, I was young, very young. I wasn't even made. And they brought me over to the table. I sat down at the table. It was a female actress, big shot. I didn't know her name, I forgot her name. And she was annoyed that I was sitting at the table. And Sinatra said, "Why? Who in the fuck are you?" He told her. He says, "I'll tell you what, Sammy, stay at this table." And he told her, get up and get out of here. Get out of the way." And he chased her off the table. So I think he was really cool. I didn't spend a long time with him. I appreciated that. I didn't say anything, to her or him. I know she was annoyed that I came and said, she called me a young punk. And it bothered him, it annoyed him. Well, he knew who I was hooked up with, so it annoyed him. And so I met him and a few other big actors and actresses.
You got a lot of love here from TikTok. Lynn Wood just sent you some nice gifts. And then a lot of people are talking about how youthful and young you're looking, Sammy. Can you talk on that?
Youthful and young. Now, that's because of the white shirt and the nice jacket and hat and glasses. You got to see me naked, bro. I look like 103.
A lot of it has to do with your peacefulness, going
My peacefulness,
to church.
I became a born-again Christian, all of these things. Listen, my life has been getting better and better. I took Megan on. She's new to our team. She's really, really great. We're working on some great projects. My son met her on Instagram, I think, someplace. She's a designer, a clothing designer. And we liked the work that she was doing. I liked her. I told my son, put her on the phone with me. I spoke to her on the phone. I liked the conversation. I told her, if you'd like to come in, I would like to come in and talk to you. And she did. We spoke. She's very, very smart and talented. Exactly what I needed. And I asked her if she would like to come on for a week or two to see if we're a fit, whether she fits with me and my company, and whether
Megan's awesome.
What?
Megan's awesome.
See, Amina's saying Megan.
She's a superstar.
Megan's awesome. My son is gloating at her. She's pretty too. So, she's great. And business-wise, she's very talented. I'm working on a clothing line with her. She's designing things, perfume and cologne. I'm working on that with her as well. And we'll see. We're just working. It's not ready yet, but I know a lot of guys already started and beat me to the punch, but it doesn't matter. We're going to put out some really good stuff. She took me to another woman who does really, really a heavyweight designer, and we sat with her. When I went into the place, she had machines, people working at machines and stuff like that. And it brought me back to when I was a kid. My mother was a seamstress. We had a small little dress factory. Not we, my mother and father had it. And I remember going there. I used to sweep the floors and do certain things. But we had the same thing, the machines. It brought me back in time. I enjoyed it very much. And we're working on some really, really nice stuff, designing stuff. And she's a member of my team now for quite a while. She's helping me with a few things. And she's a born-again Christian. So she's got me, I don't curse as much anymore. I don't do certain things. And she does have a little bit of a temper. I got to shut her up a little bit here and there. She'll stop barking every once in a while. So she's good.
I have a question from John Ball. Hey, John. Can you talk about how you survived mentally in a place like the Supermax? And also, how do you keep from breaking in a place like that?
Listen, there's a lot of guys who broke in the Supermax. it depends on what you go through yourself mentally. I went through, it was horrible. I'll tell you that much. It was lonely. But I used my time as thinking back, thinking about my future, thinking about things. I'm a thinker. I'm an overthinker. So I used my time in there to think about my life, think about what my future life would be if I ever got out of prison. I wasn't sure at that time. I meditated. I used meditation. There's a thing on this camera, right there. So I looked at, I did meditation, a lot of sit-ups, push-ups. You're not allowed to work out with, you're not even supposed to do sit-ups and push-ups. I did it when they weren't looking. So I used my time that way to progress. I did read some books. You're allowed to get books and read. I read stories, and I try to self-educate myself and get through. And I always had it in my head, why am I in this Supermax? They're trying to break me. And I put it in my head, I'm not going to break. I'm not going to break. So, and some guys do break in there. But, it's tough time, but, and I always had this saying, tough guys in tough times get tougher. Weak guys get weaker. I'm not weak, so I didn't get weaker, I got stronger.
So, Mosier Boy.
Wait, before you even go on, and there's a whole video on that on our YouTube with Warden
Hood.
Hood?
Yeah, Warden Hood was the warden in the Supermax, and I did a video, Gerard is right, I did a video with him, and he's trying to help me with prison reform, stuff like that. And he talks about how I did time. If you look at that video, coming out of the warden's mouth, he'll tell you exactly how I did my time.
And I put a link in the chat for that video.
And my son said he just put a link in the chat. You could look at that link and listen to the warden. Right,
and we'll also tag it in the comment section once we post this video.
All right,
so we'll have it up
people, Amina's working on it too, so you can get those things, look at that video of me and him talking and meeting. And then this is like after I got out, a couple of years ago it was, and he retired and he came down and did an interview with me. I became pretty friendly with him. He was a good guy, was a warden, but he really cared about people in there. And you needed that little bit of help from a guy like him or other people. I met a nurse in there who also made me feel good about myself. And that's what you need, little things sometimes.
The warden is amazing. Having that sit down with him when when we were in the other studio, he was very real, very just a no nonsense kind of guy, and just tells it like it is.
Yes.
ADX,
Yeah,
so.
He had compassion. He cared about people.
He absolutely
He
had
cared
compassion.
about people. Matter of fact, when he came down to do the interview, we were talking and we did the interview. We was here a couple hours, and he said, "Sammy, I have another respect for you now." I said, "Why? What did I do?" "You didn't get killed over here. Are you going to thank me for that?" He said, "No. I was talking with your grandson and your granddaughter. He met my grandchildren, Gerard's kids, were there when I was filming. My dog was there." He said the environment was really, really healthy and good and clean. He says, I love it. He says, "I think the world of you, but coming down and seeing you with your kids and your grandchildren and your dog," he loved Lily altogether. Matter of fact, she loved him. I got a little mad at her because while we were talking, she went by him, rolled up and sat by his legs. I got jealous.
Lily. Okay, so switching it up a little bit, Mosier Boy wants to say that his mother was also a seamstress and that she worked at the local dry cleaners in a small town back in Southwest Michigan. So he understands what it means to be a seamstress.
Yeah, a seamstress is great. I mean, listen, I would come home, my clothes were torn, this, that. She would fix them, wash them, When I put them back on, I never knew they were even torn. How did you fix them? She was a great seamstress. Really, really good.
Daniel Calabresi in the chat says, hey, my name is Danny from Pennsylvania, originally from Jersey City. He said that everybody in the chat apparently wants to hear about your past. He wants to know what's on your bucket list. What are the things that you want to do?
You know, some of the things around my bucket list was driving a race car. I don't know why I wanted to do that, but I started fooling around with it. I met some people. I did go in a race with my own car, and the guy was sitting next to me, and I did very well. I mean, it wasn't a race. It was just going around the track with other people in their own cars. So, and we did that. And then I went in an actual race car. My friend owns race cars, and I went in a race car, and I went around the track with that. And I went around with a couple of people the second time around, and it's ferocious. I mean, it is really, really breathtaking. You know, it was crazy. And I the last time I had used a stick shift on a car was like 40 years ago. So now I'm in a race car and I'm throwing gears, first, second, third, fourth. When you come to the turn, I was in third gear. You got to step on your brake a little bit and drop it into second so that when you go a little bit slow, I was doing 150, 160 miles an hour. So when I hit the turn, I got to get down to about 90, 85, and you got to do these two things. So I put my foot on the brake as I'm looking at the curve coming up. And then as I get a little closer, I downshifted it from third to second, which slowed it down a lot more. And I made the curve. As soon as I went through the curve, then I threw it back up to third and I hit the gas. So it was wild. I don't know if I'm going to continue it. It's a lifestyle. These people sleep in trailers and do things. It's a rough, rough life. I have a lot of respect for them. They were great. They knew who I was. They were coming over with their kids to get a selfie with me and stuff like that. It is dangerous. I'm 80 years old. My reflexes aren't the same. So I did a few. I may back off. They told me there's the school, and you go every single day racing and with instructors in a race car. And I got to do that for a week, and then I can go into real bigger races where there's 20, 30 cars. I don't know if I'm going to do that. I don't know if I have the capabilities anymore. My eyesight ain't great. My reactionary, is like it was. So I may not do that, but I really got the chance to get into a race car, race. When I was going in and out, if you crash and the car goes on fire, you got to be out of the car in 7 seconds. I couldn't get it less than, I think, 15 seconds. And the guy said, that's good, Sammy. My first try was 30-something seconds. You got to take the steering wheel off, take all the belts off, everything like that. Was 30-something seconds. They said, that's no good. I got it down to about 15 seconds. I went with Megan. Megan actually got in and out of the race car herself. She wanted to try it. And it's not easy, especially coming out, because he said, I did 15 seconds. He said, that's great. You died once. You got to get it down to 7 seconds. I never got it. The closest I got was 15 seconds. So I really didn't want to be in a crash. But you literally got to take the steering wheel off. I got 2 belts on my side, 1 on my crotch coming up, 2 coming over my shoulders, 1 on my wherever. I mean, there's so many belts. And then there's that little cage window. You got to hook that off and get out in 7 seconds. I think for me, it's impossible. If I hit and started a crash, I would forget about 7 seconds to get out. I would start doing the sign of the cross and God, take me, bro. It's over. I know I can't get out in 7 seconds.
Race car driving is definitely a lifestyle.
Yeah, it is a lifestyle.
Eat, drink,
it's a
sleep,
whole
breathe.
thing. And when I was just practicing, I had the girls putting it on the board. What days I got to go and practice. What days I got to do this. I bought the uniform, the helmet, the whole 9 yards. and it was good. I went, you know, I had fun. It's not on my bucket list anymore, but I thought about it. Should I do, you know, some races and but I'm not. I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to do it. You know, I met with Nick Pileggi at a meeting in California a couple of weeks ago, and he said, "Sammy, please don't do it. Don't do it. It's too dangerous. They're young. You're fighting young kids, bro. Number one. Number two, you know, you're fighting guys who, if they're older, they're in the racing business for 10, 15, 20 years. You can't just start and jump in with those people there. So I'm kind of listening to people who are around me. My son wants to get rid of me and inherit everything. So he said, Dad, keep racing. No, I'm only kidding.
My trigger finger's itchy.
Stop. Janet wants to know. She said, when did you get the black rose tattoo on your chest?
I got the first tattoo I got, Janet, was a diamond. It was in the rampers. We all got a small diamond right dead center in your chest. I had taken that off. I don't remember why. I took it off, and I put. By taking it off back then, I got some scars from it. So I got another tattoo, which is a black rose, and I put it right dead center on my chest to cover the scars. That's why I got and I got that a little later on. I don't remember what age I got it. And now that's gone too.
Draven5682 asks, and Draven, I do believe Sammy has answered this question before, but I'm going to ask it again. Sammy, he says, did your beef with Mattie Gambino put you on Carlos's radar, and how did it affect Carlos's decision to bring you into the Gambinos?
Well, it obviously didn't affect his decision to bring me in, because he did bring me in after that beef with Mattie Gambino. So from what I understand, I don't think Carlo Gambino was a great leader, a brilliant guy, a good-natured guy. I don't think he liked the idea. When he heard the story, what happened between me and Mattie Gambino, I never saw Mattie Gambino come back to the club again. So he literally barred him from coming back. Mattie Gambino was abusive, and when I went in, Billy Stagg was there. He was with the old man Johnny Rizzo. I was with the Colombo family, and he was really an abusive guy. Thought who he was because his uncle was Carlo Gambino. And one night he came in with a couple of broads, 3 or 4 girls, and he called me over and he told me, he says, here, take the girls' coats and go hang them up. Now, I felt like telling him to go fuck himself, but he was Carl's nephew. So I did take the girls' coats, put them on my arm. I was going to go hang them up. And before I had a chance to do that, he said, listen, I went over the books. Something's wrong with the books. Right in front of the girls and everybody there. And I said, listen, Mattie, if you don't like the way the books are, come in and work and do the books yourself. And he said, no, but you know, if the books ain't right, I'm here to talk to you about it. Go fuck yourself, I told him. And matter of fact, here, take these fucking coats off of my arm. Hang them up yourself. Who the fuck you think you're talking to, bro? You're my partner. I'm here. I clean the joint. I'm a bouncer. I bartend. I'm in fights over here, running the club. You questioning me like I'm robbing or Billy's robbing or somebody's robbing? Then come and work yourself. And no disrespect, I told the girls, to you girls, I would hang your coat in a second, but not from him telling me. And they all nodded their head. I think they understood that he was being abusive, and I went off. If I didn't hit him or anything like that, I wouldn't have done that. I mean, I would have hit back if he would have did something, but he dogged it, he left. I put it on record with my people, Shorty and Carmine Persico, and I guess they talked. It went to Carlo Gambino, and he was barred from the club. I didn't bar him from the club, so it must have came right from Carlo Gambino. And when I had my problems with the Colombos and I was being transferred, He's the one who got me transferred and welcomed me. The first day I was in the Gambino family, Tato took me up there on Ocean Parkway. He had an apartment. He had a house in Long Island, but he had an apartment on Ocean Parkway. I went there. Tato took me up to meet him. He opened the door. There was him. There was 5 bouncers there. Not bouncers, bodyguards. And he asked me if I wanted coffee. Espresso, I said yes. I figured one of those guys were going to make it. He got up. He made it himself. He gave it to me. He put anisette in it. He talked to me about putting the lemon around the thing. He was so polite. I was shocked. I was completely blown away. And that's what kind of guy he was. So, and I got accepted into the Gambino family. And then I got made in '76. But Carl had just died. So that was in under Paul Castellano.
I have Cortez Crawford asking in the super chat, do you remember a lady who was killed by the DeMeo crew? Her name was, I think, Cherie Golden or Cherry Golden. And he said, could you talk about it?
I know of a young girl who was killed. I don't know her name. I never knew her name. I know he killed a young girl. He had some guy he wanted to kill, from what I heard. And the young guy, he pulled up to the Mayo's club, and he had his girlfriend in the car. So the guy went inside of the Mayo's crew, and they went and told him, there's the guy you want to get. He wants to come in. Who's he with? His girlfriend. And he sent guys out. He says, I'll have him in here. We're going to kill him. So go out, and you got to kill her too. Otherwise, she's a witness. And they killed her too. Horrible, horrible thing. I don't think she was 18 years old, 19 years old. And he killed her. Only because she could have been a witness. He could have just let the thing go until he got this kid alone. The kid didn't know he was going to get killed. So he could have did that. So that's the only thing I heard of. But he was a kill machine. He became a serial killer. So I wouldn't doubt, that he killed women. I don't know who he killed. I know he killed, they say in the book that I think they said he killed over 200 people. I know he told me that one time. Paul was going to make guys, and I went down for a meeting with him for other reasons. And I told him, did you hear Paul's going to make guys? And I said, you got a lot of good guys around. You going to make some of them? And he said, yeah. He says, my coffee boy killed 20, 30 people. Your coffee boy killed 20, 30 people? Yeah. He says, Sammy, me and my crew, we killed over 200 guys. I'll never forget it because I said 200 guys. I mean, who the fuck is giving you all these contracts? And he said, nobody. Sometimes I just killed them to keep my crew sharp. I said, oh. And the way he looked at me, I said, hey, I do the same thing with my crew. But I don't do that. I didn't do that. He was a sick fuck.
Red Man from Our Thing says, Sammy, when you were in the streets, what did you think, as well as the other guys, when news about Nikki Scaro killing so many members of his Philadelphia family? How did you and the rest react when you heard he killed Salvi Testa? And I know you were close to him, but did you question in your head any of what he was doing?
Listen, that's the worst hit he could have did. He was in trouble when Angelo Bruno was alive. They were talking about killing him. Phil the Chicken Man Testa, Salvi's father, was the underboss. He saved Nikki's life, and they switched him from Philadelphia to go stay in Atlantic City. And it was a shithole. Back there was no casinos there. There was no nothing there. But he saved his life. Years later, when Angelo Bruno was killed, he brought, Phil the Chicken Man Testa brought Nikki in as his consigliere. And when Phil was killed, Salvi, I met him, tall kid, good-looking kid, well-built. He was like a rising star in the Philadelphia Mafia. Nikki got jealous or whatever it was and killed him. How do you kill your best friend's son who's done nothing really to deserve it? And so that shook their mob. And guys in the mob, captains, made guys say, well, if he can kill him, I mean, he can kill any of us. I mean, the guy saved his life. He's his best friend. This is his son. And you kill him? He became kill crazy. He became very paranoid at the end, from what I understand from Philip.
Philadelphia? From Philip, were you saying from Philadelphia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. Anthony Sicarella in your super chat. Hey, Sammy, sending love from Buffalo. You mentioned before that you do not care for Greg Scarpa Jr. May we respectfully ask why, as I'm sure there is history there.
Him and his father were both confidential informers. The father first. The father was a confidential informant all his life. He became a confidential informant, the son later on. And they were both a little kill crazy. Not a little bit, a lot kill crazy. I don't like people like that. I know, guys, when you get a piece of work, you got to do it, you got to do it. But when you become kill crazy, that's like a serial killer. You want to try and stay away from those people. Not that you're afraid of them, it's just you don't know what the fuck would tick them off. And they did a lot of scummy fucking things. Talking about murdering a girl, they murdered a girl, a young girl, threw her in a dumpster, her legs sticking up out of the thing, and left her like that for her family to remember. It was horrible, the whole thing with them. I did time with him. I knew him from the streets. So I never had any good feelings with him at all.
Okay, J. Marie in the super chat. Boss, I'm producing and filming a documentary later this year in Las Vegas with some crypto big shots. All said and done, it'll be nice score for me, and I'm sending you a little taste. Nice envelope for you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. And good luck with your show.
Darling over there, do you have anything from Instagram and TikTok?
I do, but maybe.
Actually, while we're doing that, Sammy, in the newsletter, we said we were going to do a little giveaway of the Inked magazine, signed copies for your followers.
Okay.
Do you have a question that you may want to ask them so we can see which of these guys or gals is quick to answer? It can be a real simple question to start off.
Well, didn't I tell you a question this morning?
Did we?
You just put me on the spot. I just threw it back at her and threw her on the spot.
Okay, I'll do the simplest question that everybody should know. When is Sammy's birthday? Month, day, and year. And go.
Are we finding the first person that gets it on each thing? So
Yeah.
The first couple of people. The first couple of people?
Mm-hmm. I'm going to do 3 for today.
Oh,
Are you on Instagram?
3 for today.
I'm doing TikTok.
I'm on YouTube.
Okay.
Of course, Janet.
Janet got it?
Of course she did.
Michael Miazza from
Tell-
TikTok.
Tell Michael to send an email
screen
to
is blacked
support.
Okay, I think we're done on here. With the smoking.
What is it, TikTok?
No, Joseph, that is not Sammy's birth date.
Janet got it wrong?
No, Janet got it right. She was the first
I
one.
don't know what this is doing. And it's on, just so you know.
All up in the face.
I think I got it.
It's on. It's showing.
It's showing.
Yeah.
I think I got a slap on the wrist for smoking.
You did.
On
I
TikTok or
wasn't fast
Instagram?
enough.
She wasn't fast enough, and I got a slap on the wrist.
You did.
While people are putting answers down, I'm sorry, guys. Liam Patrick says, "Hey, Sammy, why did Gaspipe turn on Vic? He all plotted to kill Vic's brother, Bobby."
I don't know. Gas pipe turned on, I think, everybody that he dealt with. So Gas pipe was another guy who was like a Roy DeMeo type of guy. And he turned on everybody, including Vic. And him and Vic were super, super close. I don't think he even had a reason, to tell you the truth. Because I don't remember any beefs. I know they were both on the lam on the same case. So I don't know.
Okay, real quick, I just want to say Janet in PA, Poised for Duty, and Dave in Pittsburgh, you three from YouTube, I want you to send emails to support@sammythebull.com, and I will take care of you. Who did you say was over there?
Oh, I screenshot it.
You did?
I'll have to go back to it. Yeah.
Okay,
So we got somebody here too.
we do.
All right, so we have 3 winners,
Yep.
and
And then we're going to do the same thing again next week, but we'll have a difficult question for you next week, so it won't be so easy.
right, it'll be a harder question.
Yep. And then Timothy O'Reilly in your super chat, he's just telling everybody to hit the like button, gave you a nice little envelope.
Thank you, Pal. You know, I think I have the question for next week. They can think about it.
No, you're not going to
How
ask
much
it
did
now.
how much did I weigh when I was born?
Is that even public knowledge? Is that anywhere?
Well, I know that, you know, I know I'm short, but I grew very fast. I was the same exact height I am now when I was 4 years old. I just never grew past that.
Alex P in the super chat sends you a keep it up, Sammy.
Thank you, bro.
El Frago. We all know that's El Gato. Zoo Sammy salute.
Salute.
What were the best vehicles used for getaways? He says grazie.
I don't know. I mean, I was in all kinds of different cars. As long as you can step on the gas and go, you go. It doesn't matter what kind of car it is.
Okay. Did you guys hear that? Oh, and Janet says next week is a holiday on Monday, Memorial Day. So
Yeah.
that means we're doing it on Tuesday. Right, boss?
Oh, she set you up on that.
I know. Yeah, a lot of holidays I don't consider holidays. What's the holiday?
It's Memorial Day.
Why don't you
You're
ask
a
them?
vet.
Why don't you ask them if
Yes.
they want to see us on Monday, or if they, on a holiday, or
You see, I'm taking orders all over the place. All right. Do you want to see me on Monday for Memorial Day or Tuesday?
The chat's about to blow up with Tuesday.
Tuesday?
unless everybody's sitting at home wanting to watch this on Monday.
Everybody's going to barbecue.
They all said take the holiday.
Yay! Thank you,
Oh,
guys.
No, I'm getting a lot of Monday here.
Round of applause. Is that which one? Instagram?
TikTok.
Oh, TikTok.
Oh, we got a Tuesday.
All right. So you know what we'll do?
We'll do a Monday and Tuesday now.
Oh,
Absolutely not.
Gerard just came up with a good idea, Monday and Tuesday.
Everybody says, even advisor says Tuesday.
All right, guys. Listen, there's a lot of Tuesdays coming up, so we'll do it on Tuesday instead of Monday. But it's hard, to do that, make those decisions, because a lot of people who are not on now won't know it next week. But we'll send a letter out. That we'll do it on Tuesday.
Okie dokie.
I see a lot of smiles over here with my girls.
Maybe I'll cook something on Monday and film it.
Oh.
We got that on film too.
Yep.
And we can
Gerard's-
post it on Tuesday.
Gerard's going to cook something on Monday and put it out on Monday or Tuesday. So, yeah, it'll be
Wrap
good.
it up, boss.
All right,
Take us
guys. You know that I'm a born-again Christian and I'm not allowed to curse. So I'm just going to say, adios, motherfuckers.